When operating an Airbnb business, you could either be extremely profitable or just breaking even. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to increase your profitability in your Airbnb business. Hey everyone, I'm Jorge Contreras. I started my short-term rental business 5 years ago and currently doing 100K plus a month. So I've definitely learned a thing or two. So let's talk about how to increase your profit margins. Let's go. Here's a hidden one. First one, you want to make sure that you increase your occupancy. Obviously, the more bookings you have, the more revenue, the more profitability. So here's a hack on how to increase your occupancy. Let's say that next week you got a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday open, which is typically the case, right? Most of the time, the vast majority of the time, the first days that get booked are your weekends for obvious reasons, and weekdays are booked less. So typically when we have vacancies, they are usually during the week. So again, imagine you got a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday vacant next week. And normally your property is hosting, 10 people and you're charging $500 a night. Just play with me here. Well, because it's next week, because it's short notice, because it's during the week, instead of charging $500 and hoping to get a booking of 10 people, super last minute, what you would do is you would actually bring down the pricing to say maybe $250 a night or $350 a night. And what's going to happen is you may not attract a group of 10, but you will attract a group of say 5, 6, 7, 8, or maybe even 3 or 4 people, because smaller groups of people are more likely to book with short notice. And so eventually, as you continue to do this, you're gonna find what those magical numbers are for you. The key here is you don't wanna be cheaper than the Motel 6 because, for obvious reasons, it's gonna be weird, but you need to have that happy medium. And when, typically we bring down the prices for the next 2 weeks for any days, even if it's a weekend for the most part, right? We bring down our prices to attract people that will book, again, more short notice and typically smaller groups of people. And let's say that you got that booking I just mentioned for $300 instead of $500. But what if you had 3 weeks out of the month where that was the case, but now you got $300, like now you brought in an extra $900 for the month. I mean, that could be 10, 20, 30%, 40% more revenue. So that's one of the ways that you can increase your profitability. And I mean, this is what hotels do, right? Whenever it's last minute, and if it's during a non-peak weekend or month or whatever it is, they always do discounts. Again, you just don't want to price it too low where you attract the wrong guest. Here's a second tip. Let's say that your property is normally hosting up to 12 guests. And basically what you would do is, instead of just charging the same for up to 12, you would basically charge the same for only up to 8. But for guests 9, 10, 11, and 12, when there is a 9th through 12th guest, because again, a lot of bookings might be 5 people, 6 people, 7 people, 8 people. But whenever there is a 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th, you could charge more per night per person. So let me give you an example. Imagine my property is normally going for $300 a night for up to a guest, but I actually have the ability to host up to 12. Well, for that 9th through 12th guest, whenever there is, I can charge $20 per person per night. So if there's 10 people total, that means that the 9th and 10th person would be paying $20 per person per night. So if they stay for 5 nights, let's see, that would be basically $40 times 5 nights is what, 200? So I'd make an extra, I don't know if that math was right, but you get the point. You would basically make an extra $200. The next thing is to create a 5-star experience as often as possible, ideally every time. And the way that we do that is by having a great team and a great system in place. Like every time there is a breakdown in your business, like let's say your cleaner forgot to do the cleaning, you got to ask yourself, okay, where was the breakdown? How did this happen? And how do we prevent it from ever happening again? Okay, instead of communicating the calendar to her or him, Let me give them access to the calendar. What a bright idea. Like, this is an example of, again, whenever you have a mishap, a challenge, I call it a breakdown in your business, you want to ask yourself, how do I prevent this from ever happening again? How do I automate it? Because you don't want the same things to be happening over and over and over again. So by doing this, every time something happens, eventually you're going to have a really solid infrastructure, a solid system to avoid these things from reoccurring. You want to make sure that you have a centralized location that all your team is able to communicate. So typically what I do is I'll create a WhatsApp group or a Slack group with my cleaner, the maintenance, the communications person, my in-house manager, myself, and my business partner if I have a business partner for that unit. And this way we can all communicate in a centralized location for that unit. Anything that happens, boom, my cleaner can say, hey, maintenance guy or gal, there's a little leak, there's a little minor repair, here's a picture, and make sure that they handle it during the cleaning window, which is usually 10 to 3 or 10 to 4. Because, right, guests usually check in at 3 or 4 p.m. or later, and then they check out at either 10 or 11 or whatever time you set up. So we got that window to take care of these things. So by having a great team, a great system, we can prevent any partial refund requests, because when you don't have a great team and a great system and there's constant little mishaps happening, your guests are going to ask for a partial refund. Like, let's say they arrive to your property, maybe it has a pool, and maybe they booked it because it has a pool, but what if the pool is really dirty? They're going to be upset. They're going to want a partial refund. So again, it's really about preventative measures. The next one has to do with your cleaning crew. You want to make sure that your cleaning crew is top notch. You want to make sure that they clean it right the first time. And here's what I mean. In the past, we've had situations where guests arrived and they said, hey, Jorge, we arrived and, there's hair in the bathroom, there's this, there's that, or there's little ants. And it was like, So yes, we would send the cleaning crew to go over there, take care of it. But they didn't do it right the first time. So my motto is do it right the first time. Again, preventative measure. Have your team send you pictures to the Slack or WhatsApp group after each and every cleaning. The next one is Beyond Pricing. I like Beyond Pricing because they automate your pricing based on supply and demand. So if there's an event, a concert, conference, or something in the area where they notice that there's a lot of Airbnb bookings, a lot of hotel bookings, they're going to increase your price based on the demand. And vice versa, if there is not a lot of demand, they will bring down your price so that you obviously get more bookings. So check out Beyond Pricing, highly recommend it. This video is not sponsored by them, although it should, but you guys get the point. Automating your pricing with Beyond Pricing, it's my favorite platform. Highly recommend it. Will definitely increase your profitability. If you're ready to make more money with your short-term rentals, make sure you guys hit that like button. Thank you so much. What are you waiting for? Did you hit the like button? Thanks. Final 2 tips. Charge $25 to $50 more per cleaning than you actually pay your staff. 1, it helps you cover your replenishables. So like all the shampoo, conditioner, body wash, soap, detergent, toilet paper, paper towels, all that stuff. Instead of you having to pay for those things out of pocket, have it be covered by that $25 to $50. So like, let's say it's $50 that you charge per cleaning more than what you pay your staff. So let's say you pay your staff $150 per cleaning. You're charging $200 per cleaning to the actual guest. $150 goes to your cleaning. You keep $50. And let's say you had 8 bookings that month. Well, guess what? 8 times 50, $400. So you make an extra $400 to cover your replenishables. And you may even end up with a little extra to just increase your profit margins. There you go. You're welcome. The last and final tip is to stay in the know of events that are taking place in your area. So some of my short-term rentals are around these conference centers where there's big concerts, conferences, and events. Whenever there is an event, my team will manually increase the prices. Like sometimes if our average price is $500, there's times where we charge $1,500 or $2,000 for that weekend, and guess what? They get booked. Why? Supply and demand. I want to help you guys continue to be even more profitable with your Airbnb, especially if you're just starting out. You want to do this right off the bat. Therefore, I want to invite you to my upcoming free webinar, check it out in the description down below. I also got a free ebook. Check out my Instagram, my podcast at The Jorge Contreras Show. That being said, make sure you guys check out another one of my videos here before you guys go. Thank you so much.